Hello, everybody. It is the EFG show. Welcome to Thursday nights, and that's where myself, Stephen Dutzman, the host, and Jeff Walker from the Frozen North come together to talk about all of the family-friendly video game and board game news you need to know about. This week, we are going to be talking about EA Play Live, and we will be talking about Pokemon Presents, is what I believe that it was called. Right, Jeff?
That's what we think it's called. Pokemon Presents, you could also think of it as a Pokemon Direct.
Yeah. It was a mini, tiny little Pokemon Direct. So, but they shared some pretty impressive announcements that kind of tore the internet asunder, as Pokemon is capable of doing. And then tonight was the, was EA Play Live, which is always kind of a wild bag, right? Like, sometimes it's crazy, other times it's not. This time, a little subdued, but I think we'll have some hits that will keep on coming as the year goes on. So, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing good, Stephen. How are you?
I am fine. I'm fine. It's been a long week. We're very glad the graduation is done in this house. All of our kids are done with school. I am looking forward to a summer vacation more than I had ever thought I would be. You'll understand. So, okay. So last week we talked all about Sony. And this week we don't have a Sony to talk about, but we do have these other two things. But first, Jeff, one of your biggest jobs on EngageFamilyGaming.com is you put together a release list. You comb the internet for all of the family-friendly, which we define as rated T and below video games.
Yep.
And you put it as a post on the Engage Family Gaming Facebook page, and you also mark it as a that gets turned into a blog that is posted on the actual website. So, Jeff, why don't you share with us what video games came out this week?
Yeah, so this week, starting on Tuesday, June 16th, we had Colt Canyon on Xbox One and Disintegration on PS4 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On Wednesday, June 17th, we had Edna and Harvey, the Breakout Anniversary Edition on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And Timberman Versus on Xbox One. And something that I can't believe I accidentally skipped it. It wasn't on either of the sites I used for some reason. The Isle of Armor DLC came out for Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yes, it did.
Yesterday. So
Yes, it
that
did.
one did not make our list, but it did come out.
Yep, and we do have some clarification. Just remember how we said we were curious as to how the DLC would work. Well, we have clarification because it was right from the store page. What we found out is It works just like a digital video game. If you buy it and it is on your primary Switch, then you and anyone else on that Switch can use it. However, if it is not your primary Switch and you buy it, then you own it, only you may use that game.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So
did you guys get it?
We did, in fact. We only got one copy. So we're going to spread it out a little bit because we ended up having a Fortnite season that launched this week, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So one kid got the Fortnite season, the other kid got the Pokemon DLC. So we'll pick up the other DLC for Pokemon later, when it gets a little, closer to the middle of the summer. But when once that new patch shine has worn off of Fortnite, but he likes it so far. It's new zones. It's a big old wild zone. He hasn't finished it by any stretch, but it's more Pokemon.
Yeah.
It is expensive, is the comment that I have. It's $30 for those two expansion passes, and that is a lot of money. But obviously, we're going to have to see what you get out of both expansion passes in total before I really pass judgment. It was just like, wow, that may or may not be why we did not buy two copies of the DLC. Because if it was, a nominal fee, we probably would have just gotten it over with.
Yeah, and so as of what he's played right now, so do you think it's worth $15 because it's technically half the DLC?
No idea. Honestly, I mean, it's really hard to judge what is or is not worth it for a DLC that we just started. But I think for Pokemon fans, it's going to be worth it because you want more Pokemon, and you're going to have to wait a while for another official Pokemon game. And so for this case, it's like more content for an actual Pokemon game. I think it's worth the price of admission. The fact that you don't, the fact that it's, that you can kind of share it with other people on the same Switch is convenient. So yeah, it's fun.
All right.
I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I plan on getting it eventually. I mean,
have you finished the main game yet?
Yeah, I finished the main game.
Okay.
So I've done that. It's just other games I'm playing. I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles right now.
Yeah. You got stuff going on.
Paper Mario comes out. I just.
Yeah, we got that Paper Mario.
The Smash DLC is supposed to be dropping this month. They've been oddly silent about it so far.
Yes. Well, they anytime now we're gonna find out who the Smash DLC character is. We know they're gonna be from ARMS.
Yes.
Oh, we got a Kate Superfan says they're waiting on the DLC until she is done with The Witcher 3. So they'll get the DLC in 2025. And that's not an insult to Kate's playing games. Kate is meticulous. I know this. And The Witcher has a lot of stuff to do. So, fine, right? Maybe you'll even get it on sale because I bet you they'll, do like a bundle or something. That'd be cool. I'm glad that you took the recommendation. How are you liking The Witcher, Kate? Let us know in the comments. So, yeah, I mean, the DLC's fun. Anyway, so carry on. We got the clarification we needed.
Yes. All right, and then coming out today, Thursday, June 18th, we had Airy Little Bird Adventure on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Best Friend Forever on Switch. Destrobots on Switch. Endless Fables Dark Moor on Switch. Hakoniwa Explorer Plus on Switch.
Sure.
Klaus on Switch. My Butler on Switch. We had Namco Museum Archives Volume 1 and Volume 2 on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I'm pretty sure that these are just the Namco Museum game that came out a few years ago, like when the Switch launched, but just in 2 different volumes now, if you don't want all the games.
I think it's possible, yeah.
I think that's what it is. One Way Heroics Plus on Switch. Poland Ball Can into Space for Switch. Push the Crate 2 for Switch. Waking for Xbox One, and Working Zombies for Switch.
Sure.
I will say that just when I was making this, Working Zombies jumped out at me. It's not my pick of the week, but it did jump out at me because it is made by Jupiter, and if you guys haven't heard of that developer, they are the same people who developed the main line of Picross games for the Switch.
Huh. That's interesting.
So I seriously thought that's all they did was make Picross games, but they do more than that.
I mean, listen, how many people do you need to make a Picross game?
True.
But
I just thought that was interesting.
Jenna is saying that we're all matching in red, and yes, as a matter of fact, we are, but for very different reasons, honey. So thank you very much. He and I both discussed that. Red is not an EFG color, but we rock it. So what else we got, Jeff?
Friday, June 19th, we have Burnout Paradise Remastered for Switch, Radio Squid for Switch, Railway 2 Nintendo Switch Edition for Switch, and The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters for PS4 and Switch.
Yep. And then one for the grown-ups?
Okay, it froze. Did you guys lose me?
No, we got you. But, I mean, we can't forget one for the grown-ups tomorrow.
Yes, we do have one for the grown-ups, and it's listed here as well. The Last of Us Part 2 comes out on PS4 tomorrow.
Definitely not for children. I just want to make it very clear it is not for children. Also not for people who are afraid of zombies, like me.
Yes.
Although I'm going to try. Friend of the show, John Rowell, picked it up. So when he's done with it, I'm going to borrow it. And I'm going to try. Oh, my wife is calling me a scaredy cat. Listen, you know your limits, right? Like, it's important as an adult to know what you can do and what you can't. And the first one freaked me out. So, yeah. So, what about you, Jeff? You playing it?
I am not. I never really finished Last of Us, the Last of Us, and so I don't like scary games either.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's definitely a scary game.
And I put a caveat on that because the only scary game I have ever enjoyed was Until Dawn,
Which is definitely a scary game because
which
it's
is
meant to
definitely
be
a
scary.
scary game. But I finished it and I was proud of myself. But
Pretty good. Pretty good.
that's typically not my type of game.
Yeah. I mean, so it's. I feel like it's an important enough game that I will try and force myself to do it. But we'll see. But anyway, it's an interesting thing I found out that's coming out very soon, and is quietly a very is building hype in this house is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered.
Yeah, coming out in August.
Yeah, that is the General's most anticipated game of the year, and it's not close. We may end up getting another Switch just so she can play that uninterrupted. So that's saying some things. With that said, that would put us at 4 Switches, so we could play 4-player multiplayer. That could be wild. That could be wild. So, but obviously Paper Mario is coming out soon, and that's I've got my eyes set on Paper Mario. I'm hoping.
That is coming out. I'm looking forward to. I know it's already been released, but my physical edition is coming. A Wonderful 101 comes out at the end of this month physically.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So I have that being shipped. It was literally the last game I bought with my Gamers Club Unlocked, so I don't want to cancel my. When they delayed it, that's the only reason I didn't cancel my pre-order is because I got that discount on there.
Absolutely. So yeah, there we go. We gotta.
Do you have a pick of the week for this week?
I mean, I don't. This week, nothing particularly jumped out at me and
Yeah.
made me say, "Hey, this is the game that you should play." It's probably The Last of Us for the grown-ups.
Yeah.
This is a week everybody just wanted to get out of the way of the juggernaut.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, since I write the article, I forced myself. I wasn't going to make a pick of the week this week. I'm like, nope, this is my duty. I am going to force myself, even on these horrible weeks, maybe look into some of these games and find a game that looks interesting. Ended up not being my pick week. I almost went with Burnout Paradise Remastered and actually was talking with someone on the EFG page about it, and I just can't choose that one because it's $50. Plus, it came out last year for PS4 and Xbox One, so you can probably get it for less than $20.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, and if you have EA Access, it's $0 because I'm sure it's going to be in the EA Access vault very, very soon. And the fact that you get EA Access on Steam, whoo, doggy, that is cool. But we'll talk about that later. So
my pick of the week ended up being Namco Museum Archives Volume 1. And I went with Volume 1 over Volume 2 because it had all your originals.
Sure. You know what?
It had Galaxian, Pac-Man, Dig Dug. Even though I do think Dig Dug 2 is better, Dig Dug is the more popular of the two.
Mm-hmm. Listen, not a bad choice. We'll have better weeks to pick games from in the very near future. So that's the release list. Let's hit some news. So before we hop into talking about the Pokemon Presents and talking about EA Play Live, I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the new season for Fortnite. So here we go. Fortnite, Chapter 2, Season 3 is here, and it is summertime. And so as a result, it's water. And so here is what is pretty cool about it. The biggest thing is last season was Deadpool. He was a superhero that you earned through challenges. He was one of the skins. This time, it's Aquaman. Specifically, the DC cinematic universe Aquaman. So yes, it definitely looks like that man. And yes, he definitely has a skin where he's not wearing a shirt. So I guess moms, there you go. You got you can have your kids play as Aquaman. So the big changes. Jake.
What?
You're my Fortnite correspondent.
Yeah?
So what? The storm is a wave of water now, right?
No, that was only for 2 days after the event, and now somehow it drained out of the storm. And now
But they flooded the island, right?
Yeah, they flooded the island.
So they flooded the island. So there's a lot of areas that are low lying that are.
According to Evan, they Wind Wakered it.
Ooh, oh, good reference. They Wind Wakered the island. So there's a lot of areas that were low level, that were lower elevation, and now there's water. That makes things like boats and also swimming, which is a big part of the game now, much more important. Fishing is important as well.
There's sharks that you can.
Oh, there's sharks now, but the sharks can go on land. It's very Sharknado-y. In fact, I would be stunned if at some point during the summer there is not a Sharknado event of some kind. It would be stunning to me if there was not. This just feels like a perfect opportunity.
Also, another thing, if the shark bites your fishing rod, you surf on it.
Okay, so if the shark bites your fishing rod, you can use it to surf. How cool is that? So the Battle Pass is available. It costs 950 V-Bucks, so you can get it for about $10. And it has a whole bunch of loot in it. Interestingly enough, now there are 2 Tier 100 skins. Normally there's only 1. So lots of skins in this pack. Some very cool ones, including a little kitten in a steampunk mech, and a knight, and some other cool stuff. Very neat. If you happen to be thinking about purchasing a Battle Pass and you're gonna do that, I would recommend that you use the Engaged Family Gaming creator code, which is EFG, AMING, EF Gaming, because every purchase you make on the Epic Games Store, including using your V-Bucks in Fortnite, we get a small percentage. So you help support the site and you get your stuff, and it doesn't cost you anything other than a few seconds entering that code. And that works for any purchases in the Epic Games Store. So anytime you buy something in there, go ahead and throw that code in. We would greatly appreciate that. Fortnite is this is one of those things. I think it was timed perfectly. Like, they kept delaying it because obviously they needed to work on it, etc. But I think it worked out perfectly because now all these kids are out of school, they're done with distance learning, and now it is just time to go absolutely bananas in Fortnite, which is what happened. This season launched on the last day of school for Jacob, and so he went just right in. I think he's already like 15 levels into the Battle Pass or something. Which is impressive, but he's quite good. So yeah, that's Fortnite. Chapter 2, Season 3. You ready? Now that you're done with that, Jeff, I know that was painful for you.
If you guys don't know it, I don't care about Fortnite, so...
I know. Well, that's why we had our ace Fortnite correspondent help take care of it for us.
Our next topic is my forte, so...
Yes, folks. Now we're going to talk about Pokemans. So, Jeff, they had a Pokemon Presents, which was really like an 11-minute long YouTube video.
Yes.
And so don't mind me while I pour a drink. I need caffeine. And coffee will keep me awake until 4 in the morning. So, it was a pretty dense, I don't want to call it a direct because it wasn't a Pokemon Direct, but it kind of was. It was pretty dense for what it was. And they made 3 announcements. Right?
3 announcements, none of which were things that were hinted at in previous.
Yeah, true. That is true. These were all fresh announcements. None of them were rumored, so I thought it was great.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything about Pokemon Sleep. We didn't hear any.
Pokemon Go, then they added Mega.
Oh, there are 4 announcements.
Oh yeah, I didn't put that in my notes either because it just.
They made some adjustments to Pokemon Go. Let's just do that right off the bat. They're adding Mega Evolutions to Pokemon Go.
It'll be interesting. I haven't played Pokemon Go because I don't go anywhere.
Well, they've actually they were very smart to pivot Pokemon Go.
So yeah, they did do that, but the problem is if you still live in an area where there's not a lot of gyms.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So I still can't
there's not much you can do. You live in the frozen north, so you're stuck.
I mean, I work in the city, but even where I work in the city, there's not a lot of gyms or anything. So,
man, listen, the few weeks that I was playing Pokemon Go at my job, the day job, my desk sits immediately above a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks below me. That was very nice. Anyway, so all right, so they're adding Mega Evolutions to Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go Fest.
What else? All right, hold on. Our ace Pokemon Go correspondents. What else are they doing?
Pokemon Go Fest 2020.
Oh, Pokemon Go Fest 2020 is
it's all online.
It's all online, just like everything.
Just because this popped in my head, because Pokemon Go Fest being all online. PAX West is also all online in September.
It's true. They're accepting panel submissions. And I think I'm going to try and do one, but who knows? I'll let everybody know. We shall see what we going to do. So, and you can nominate places for stops and gyms. So, I mean, you could try, Jeff. You could try and build your whole neighborhood to let you play Pokemon at home.
Okay.
Speaking of playing Pokemon at home, that's a segue. Pokemon Smile is a thing.
Pokemon Smile.
So tell us about that.
So Pokemon Smile is a new app on your phone to help your kids brush their teeth better. And
Yep.
so Tuesday when it released, I decided I got home and I was going to try it with my daughter. And if those of you who don't know, my daughter is 4, and it didn't go too well. So she liked the part. So at first she got to choose her Pokemon. She chose Squirtle. She knows him by name too, I'd like to mention, so I was proud there.
Okay.
And it gives them a little hat, but then, so it needs to be at eye level. So I'm going to put my phone, so you have to be looking right into the phone.
Yep.
My daughter is 4, so she's short. So we have a little stool at the sink, but it still was hard to. Our bathroom wasn't set up in a nice way to place because we don't have a very big bathroom. It's just literally a basin, sink. We don't have like counter space.
Yep.
The only counter space is below our medicine cabinet, and it's about 3 inches wide. So
Okay.
it's like was no place good for us to put the phone, and she had trouble following instructions. So it would tell you where to brush your teeth, and it can read the motion of your toothbrush, but it would tell her she's not brushing fast enough, so it can't read the toothbrush. And then at the end of it, it goes, "You didn't brush your teeth well enough. You won't get to catch a Pokemon this time. Try again tomorrow."
Wow.
Yeah.
So she was just a little despondent, I'm sure.
I mean, she didn't care because she didn't realize that's what she got to do at the end. I was disappointed because I wanted to see how the Pokemon catching aspect was. Like, could they just send a random Pokemon to your phone?
I don't know, dude.
I don't
didn't
know.
try it yet. I should. I'll try it. I'll download it. What's the worst that can happen? I'll catch Pokemans. So,
I thought about trying, but again, my bathroom is so that I think I'm too tall to put it anywhere.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're smart. We can figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would, with your little bit older kids, 4-year-old was a little, she didn't really understand how to follow instructions with it. She didn't realize that it was showing her where to brush her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
But a 6-7-year-old, I think, is the prime target for this.
Yeah, we'll definitely try it. With that said, speaking of 7-year-olds, Nicole Tanner, friend of the show and co-podcast host with me, when Halo is done at least, says that Anna thought it was boring. So, Anna is 7. But Anna,
Okay.
So when you catch a Pokemon, the new one just plops on your head. That sounds great. I just want to have, like, a pocket monster just show up right on my head. That sounds great. Thank you, Nicole, for filling us in. It sucks that Anna thought it was boring, but especially since like she was she's 8. My bad. I don't know, man. I've known you long enough that she's been every age practically.
And I mean, even like it also depends on the kid. Some kids are gonna love this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In my defense, Nicole, I forget my own kids' ages sometimes. So
I forget my birthday all the time.
I don't forget your birthday. I forget how old you are.
Oh yeah, when's his birthday?
I don't remember. Anyway,
You're being called out.
I am being called out. That's because my obnoxious wife is in the same room as me. So, excuse me. So, all right. So that's Pokemon Smile. That is out now, so anyone can try it. It's free, and it's really just quietly. This came up in like some Facebook groups that I'm in. Like 5% of the people watching that video gave a damn about it, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the people are like, all right, whatever. But of those people, like that 5% that were like, yeah, this is exciting. Like a group of them, this is going to be like their most played app on their phone for the year. Like there are gonna be some kids that latch onto this. It's going to be a very big deal.
There's going to be some adults who latch onto this.
Sure. You know what? Dan Zayas, friend of the podcast, who is a big board game guy, he has been posting screenshots of himself catching Pokemon while brushing his teeth every day since it came out. So you are darn right. And you know what? Sure, whatever.
Okay.
Super cool. Next, and this is probably going to be my daughter's game of the year, was Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is...
Right here, Kate says she's going to give it a try because Liam likes Pokemon.
Yeah, man.
And Kate, I would definitely say, I plan on using this with some of my clients.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, ones I'm working on brushing teeth with, and I think they would love it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? This is one of those things that since it is free, give it a shot, right? Like,
Yep.
Sounds great. And that's the thing, right? Like, there are going to be a lot of people are going to be like, whatever. But it's so innocuous. Like, normally you see like negative stuff, like, oh my god, I can't believe they made that. This just makes perfect sense, and I love the art style of the different Pokemon. It's just a different, like, that fat Pikachu is great. Okay, so Pokemon Cafe Mix. It's a puzzle game. That's it. Check it out. It's Pokemon. It's a Pokemon. It's like a Pokemon Sum game where you're mixing, where instead of like tapping, you're like mixing them around to try and connect all the like Pokemon faces. Sure, it looks cool. It is a free to start game on Switch and mobile, coming out soon. You can preload it right now.
Yeah, and I will say, just from most of Pokemon's free to start games, most of them have been pretty decent.
Yeah.
And you can play them without paying anything, which is also great. I used to play Pokemon Shuffle for a little bit, so...
Yeah, I think this is going to end up being my daughter's, probably her game of the year. Like, she is going to just churn this up, because she also really loves cafe games, which is weird. Like, she is all in on, like, the owning of a restaurant and, like, whatever. So if she can own a restaurant and have, like, Eevee come work for her, game of the year, no question. Forget about everything else. She is all in on that. So that's Pokemon Cafe Mix. I think it's a cool idea, right? The idea of Pokemon is that it's perfect on mobile. It's perfect for lots of different applications. Match 3 puzzle game style games. It makes perfect sense. So that's Pokemon Cafe Mix. Okay, now's the big one. The pièce de résistance of this whole video.
Yes.
New Pokemon Snap. So the internet melted down for new Pokemon Snap. Melted down, Jeff. You were there.
Yeah.
You lived with me on the internet. It was nuts.
I was so excited. I mean, and it looked gorgeous, too.
Oh, listen. It is it is exactly what it needs to be. It is Pokemon Snap.
Right when they showed those Bouffalons at the beginning.
Man, everything looked great. How about that big old Wailord? Who is
That
like
cool.
huge. So
The Blastoise.
Yeah, listen, Pokemon Snap came out in 1999 in the States, and it was a phenomenon then. It was such a big deal. I love watching speedruns of it on GDQ because, it's all about, like, really perfect shots and memorizing the whole game. It's so wild. And now we got another one. And really, the Switch, the 3DS would have been perfect for it, but...
No, I think the Wii U would have been perfect for it, like, with the gamepad.
True, in as much as the Wii U was perfect for anything. But you're right, it would have been great on... They keep making consoles that it would have been great for, and so finally they did it. Great. Make another one. 20 years later. We don't know when it's coming out, though.
No, they did not give a release. It said under construction. My only concern is the original game is not very long.
Nope.
And if this is going to be a full price $60 game and I'm only going to get the 5 hours out of it like the original game, I think that's going to be kind of a disappointment.
But we don't know, so we're going to have to
find out. But we don't know. I'm not saying that's the case, but... I mean, when the original Snap came out, games could even be more expensive because they were on cartridges.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, so who knows? Who knows? This could be a $20 title. We don't really know what it's going to be. So we know that it's in development, and we know that they are going to share more information with us soon. So I am looking forward to that. They also, at the very end, told us that on the 24th, which I believe is next Thursday, is another one. Another Pokemon Presents with with a very important announcement that they didn't really give a lot of details, but they said that it was nothing that has been spoken about before. What do you think it's going to be, Jeff?
I think it's going to be Pokemon Let's Go Johto.
Yeah. So that would be what, like Pichu, like baby ones? Like Pichu and Togepi or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know who they... I feel like Togepi would have to be one. I don't know if they go with Pichu since they soak Pikachu, but I don't know who has as much...
Evan's looking at me. Evan's glaring at me because he really wants... he wants remakes more than he wants... Like, he wants another, like, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. He wants another one of those kind of remakes.
I feel like if they did a remake, they'd do Diamond and Pearl next, but that's
kind of what he wants remakes. The Let's Go thing. If they did Let's Go, who's it going to be?
Magby and Smoochum.
He's not even making a prediction.
I just want Gen 4 remakes.
Yeah, he wants Gen 4 remakes. That's what he really wants. He's trying to will that into existence. Sure. Whatever, I don't care. More Pokemon is fun. I would rather it be another Pokemon game that is in some way compatible with Sword and Shield. Where at least you could trade back and forth would be another excuse to put some of the Pokemon in that were not in the Pokemon Sword and Shield Pokedex. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And I don't mind I don't think of the Let's Go game as a core Pokemon series, and I don't mind going back and playing. So they're a nice, easy romp through.
Yeah. That should be fun.
My fun is trying to see all the Pokemon I can catch and just reliving those worlds in a new in a new way, the 3D, because, again, those games have never been made in 3D.
Yeah.
Plus, if it's anything like the original Johto, you get to go back to Kanto again.
Which is part of why I think Johto makes sense, because they already made Kanto. So, okay, so that's the Pokemon stuff. We're obviously going to have more to report next week, because next week is the next Pokemon Presents. So, also today was EA Play Live. It was about 45 minutes of EA games. They opened it with a pretty strong statement covering all of the bases by the EA president. And they said the things that they are expected to say, and thank you very much for that. We also know they're putting up large sums of money to help various charitable causes, which I am happy to see. Then they came to the games, and you and I were talking about this before, and we were not as incredibly hyped as some other places. There are some outlets, I was kind of surfing through some post shows where people were very excited about it. I think you and I were lukewarm, but I think there were some hot spots.
Because, I wasn't going through post shows or anything, but I was looking through, just my Facebook groups I'm part of, IGN, GameScoop, IGN, NVC, and people there did not seem excited.
Yeah, I think so I went and watched the kind of funny post show, and they said that it was probably the best press conference. They were saying that it was the best press conference EA's ever done.
Here's the thing, and I don't want to. Do you think they might have been biased because Greg Miller was hosting it?
No, because they were talking a whole lot of crap. Their whole point was that they did a good job of talking about what was coming next, and so they had a whole point. They are welcome to think what they want.
Yeah, I know.
But the real lesson for us is that you and I were pretty lukewarm, and a lot of that just comes down to the fact that some of the hype stuff they announced is not for us. And I don't know about you, I am probably not going to play Star Wars Squadrons.
No, I'm not into space shooters. And I hate how they say, we're actually going to show you some gameplay, but a lot of that gameplay was cutscenes still.
Yeah, it was a little tough. So let's go through some of the stuff that we saw, because there were 3 announcements that I think were relevant for the EFG audience. The first one, and I think this is probably going to be for us the biggest game that they announced here. It's coming out July 14th, and that is Rocket Arena. Jeff, what if I told you that there's going to be a 3-on-3 family-friendly shooter where the only guns you have are rocket launchers, and instead of killing people, you knock them out of the arena a la Smash Brothers. Doesn't that sound like pretty much right perfect for us?
It does sound fun. I mean, I'm not into. I don't know. I'm getting tired of all these arena battle games, but what you gonna do?
I mean, they're gonna make them. Listen, 3v3 rocket launchers only. It sounds like an Unreal Tournament game mode, but here we are, rocket launchers only. And the idea is when you shoot your opponents, you blast them off the map. And they, if you knock them off the map, then you win. That sounds very cool to me.
I didn't know how clear they were. Is this a free-to-play game?
I think so.
Okay.
Because there's a Rocket Pass. Or no, they called it a Blast Pass because the Rocket Pass is for Rocket League. Rocket Arena and Rocket League are going to confuse me. I'm going to say the wrong thing all the time because I do that. But so, yeah, Nicole says it sounds like a Mario Party minigame. Yes, if you were to give Mario and Wario, etc., rocket launchers. But they're going to have a Blast Pass, so I think it's going to be free to play. We will definitely be in full-on YouTube mode, so fully expect to see gameplay of either me or one of my sons, or maybe all three of us, playing this game. And they're going to have crossplay right off the gate. So from PS4, Xbox One, and PC, which I think is very cool. So
I'm disappointed it's not coming to Switch.
I was surprised by that too, but
because it didn't look too graphically intensive.
Yeah, but this is EA, so they don't make.
Yeah.
EA doesn't make games for the Switch.
Well, if Steve and I were also talking about this before we went live, like a month ago, they announced 19 games coming to Switch in 2020 and 2021, and very quietly, like they just kind of glossed over it. They're like, "Oh yeah, we only have 7."
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it felt like it was announced. Like they just mumbled that, "Oh, it's only 7 now."
That is, it's true.
And I don't understand it. Like Switch has been proven to sell.
Is EA gonna EA, man? I don't really know. Here's this.
But
I don't know why they haven't put the Sims on Switch. Like, forget
Sims,
everything else.
that
Like,
was a big
Sims is like perfect.
Yeah, Madden is another one I've been waiting for.
Yeah, but Madden is always a graphical powerhouse. They do use a lot of AI. Like, I don't think that the Switch could run Madden the way they want to make Madden. And so, but they have other games. Like, point blank, why isn't The Sims and all those expansion passes on the Switch? You mean to tell me that you put that you try and put The Sims on Switch with all that DLC and they're not going to make a couple $1 billion? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
even like another game they announced that, I mean, neither of us are too thrilled on, but Command & Conquer Remaster Collection. Like, that's another game I think you could easily put on Switch. There's a huge following for those games.
Absolutely. I don't think they need to put everything out there. But they are putting Apex Legends, which is, not for us, but it's still going. Like, they do some stuff. It's just, it feels like they just don't go, they're just like right there.
And then when they do, they kind of stumble, like bringing Burnout Paradise a year after and for $10 more.
Yeah. And Kate saying The Sims on Switch would be amazing. I agree. I think The Sims on Switch would be such a good idea. So Rocket Arena, not coming to Switch, but it's PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and I'm sure it's going to come to next-gen consoles when that time has come. Next, they showed a fair amount of Star Wars Squadron, which is a 5v5 spaceship game. Jenna's favorite. She got headphones on, so she didn't hear me talking junk.
So that was sarcasm?
Oh, she hates space stuff. Space stuff is not her jam.
I'm not a fan of space stuff either, and I thought the game looked kind of boring, so...
I mean, I don't know that it looks... I'm torn. Now, the thing is, it is a budget title. It's only $40. It's going to have a campaign. You make 2 characters at the beginning. You make a rebel and an imperial. I think that is very cool. And, if I'm going to pay attention to the reviews, and if the story mode is deemed cool enough, then I will probably, pick it up for the story just to see, kind of what it's like. But I can't imagine that I would play the multiplayer very much. With that said, I think I might enjoy watching the multiplayer because, skilled play like in space dog fighting sounds like it could be kind of fun, but we'll have to see. But so it's Star Wars Squadron. It's $40. It's coming out in October. And yeah, there are a lot of people that are very hyped for this game.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. It's just, it's not a me game. It's not a Jeff game.
Yes, it is definitely not a Steve game. But, I'm going to keep my eyes open and we will see. Also, this game is definitely going to hit the EA Access vault very quickly. So we will, at the very least, I will play it there. They closed out their I don't want to call it a conference, but they closed out EA Play with the announcement that Skate is coming back. So many skateboard games, Jeff. So many skateboarding games. I remember I was in my early 20s when skateboarding games became a huge thing. And I guess it's time. Is it time?
I guess. What? We have Skate. We have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered. We have Skate Bird coming out next year.
And then so many other skateboarding games that were announced during the various live streams that happened over the last weekend. I mean, if you like skateboarding games, you are going to have your pick of the litter because there are so many of them. Admittedly, they didn't have any gameplay. They didn't even have a logo. It was just 2 people saying, yeah, we're making a skate game. Sure. Make it. People are going to be happy. There's some people that have been dying for Skate 4. Get to work. I guess. Because I don't really have anything else to say about Skate. So that's it. They did make some other... They talked about Apex. They talked about some indie games, some of which we know so little about. There's really not much we can say. Oh, I guess it's good night time, right? All right. Good night.
Wicked late.
Yeah, it's wicked late. But, it's summer. We'll be all right. So, yeah, that's it. The EA was... How about this? You and I were like, yeah, jokes, and more jokes. They're going to tell us about football. And they didn't.
Because they didn't know. They just threw like that at the end.
There was like a trailer. And it was like, hey, check out how hyped this is. But like they didn't tell us anything about them. We just know. Nope. I mean, we knew that the dude from the Ravens was going to be on it. Or in it. Congrats, I guess. He was the cover athlete. He starts for the Ravens. So like. Of course he's going to be in it. But, fine. Great.
They did show Tom Brady in his Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and it hurt. It hurt. Deep down inside.
I mean, it probably hurt him, too, with how old he is still playing.
I mean, he is mad old. He's almost as old as Jenna. It's crazy. So, he is... Listen, it hurt watching him play. I know it's real, but the first time I see him walk out in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, it's going to be very, very weird.
And Gronk, who retired but is still coming back.
Yeah. How about? I mean, we could talk about the NFL all day.
Yeah, I know.
The fact
I just have to give you crap for being a Patriots fan. It's okay.
You can give me all the crap you want. Bill Belichick convinced the team to trade him a pick for a retired player.
I give you a pass, though, because you actually live in the New England area, so I know you're not just a bandwagon jumper.
No, I liked them before they had their new uniforms. I
will give you that benefit of the doubt. You're not just someone who jumps on because they won a lot.
Yeah, oh no, definitely not. I liked them when they were terrible. So, anyway, also, you kind of have to like your hometown team. It's like you're obligated. Okay. So, that's it for EA Play Live. They really didn't give us... It was interesting, not a lot of stuff for us. We do have some clarification on the Spider-Man Miles Morales situation. So last week, it was a little ambiguous for us. We weren't really sure what was going on with the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. What is it? I was talking like it was Spider-Man 2. Then we got some further clarification that it's like an enhanced or remastered version of the original. And so almost like it was not, so it's just DLC. We have gotten clarification. So now here's what we know. We know that Spider-Man Miles Morales is a standalone video game that you will be able to purchase and play on its own. It will be about the same scope as Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was a game that was about 10 to 11 hours long. And don't mind the beeping. My wife is making her dinner. She just got back a little while ago from graduation. That's why we're so stressed out around here. So that's it. It's going to be the differences are this is set in winter. So it's the same assets, only there's snow everywhere. We know that it's going to be designed to fully take advantage of the PlayStation 5 technology, at least according to Insomniac. So the fast loading and the ray tracing and the blah, 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 blah. Listen, it looks great. I'm going to play it. I want more Spider-Man.
I'll play when I get a PS5. I'm excited. As I said, I love the original Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Going to be great. I think it's cool that he gets a story. I will admit that I am disappointed that he doesn't get his own full-length game. However, because I heard some folks on the internet frustrated that he's kind of relegated to being a side character, even though he is Spider-Man. I am going to be cautiously optimistic, and him getting a side game for his origin story, I think that it does not necessarily mean that he will not be in the next game, in like a major part. That's my hope. I don't know. Maybe he'll get his. It's like
when they were making the MCU, they had to give all the Avengers their own movie before they could all come together in Avengers.
Maybe. Who knows? So I am cautiously optimistic, and I'm hoping it sells like wildfire. So they justify having two teams and maybe making Miles Morales, like big boy games. And Kate says she feels like them testing the market. It's possible. It's also, they wanted to make another Spider-Man game to hit launch, and they realized the only way they could do it is if they made a smaller game. So why not?
Oh yeah, because they were also making Ratchet and Clank at the same time.
Yeah, which is impressive. So it's tough to say. We will find out as time goes on. But Jeff, would you believe it if I told you that was another episode of the EFG show?
We did it.
We did it. And so we will be back next week to talk about, there's probably some kind of press conference this weekend. We know there's another Pokemon next week. And we will probably catch up on some of the doodads and various other trailers that we might have missed, because Lord knows it's the summer of games. And we'll get back to our rankings, because you and I still have to play pro wrestling so that we can rank it next week. So everybody watching, play pro wrestling on the Nintendo Switch Online so you can talk about it with us. Excuse me, I don't mean to cough. So yes, Jeff, thank you. Everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed as much as Jeff and I enjoyed recording. We will see you all next week. But until then, don't forget to safely
get your family game on.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.